forget about you. We didn't forget about you. A little late, but better late than never. It's Coach Speak time, my friends. That is Ira. That's Corey. I'm Jeff. Ben has done his best to compile the greatest of the great coaches throughout the land saying dumb stuff, or at least amusing things. And right off the bat, we say thanks to Artezia Water, arteziawater.com. More on them momentarily. I think we have to begin, as we have many times before, with the great Shane Beamer. So let's get it started.
I figured we'd go ahead and get him out of the way. I know how much you guys are fans of Shane. But I did want to say this is kind of a compilation of clips from like the last 2 weeks. We didn't have a show Thanksgiving week, and then obviously this week. So we don't have any conference championship clips in this. So we'll add that to next week's show. So
that'll be this week's Coach Speak.
Yeah, this is just kind of a compilation of the last couple weeks. Here's Shane.
Norris Sellers is the best player in the country. And all you media people that vote on the Heisman, if you're not voting for that guy in the mix for the Heisman Trophy, you're out of your minds. Like, name a player in the country that's done more than that kid has this year, particularly today. In the environments that he's done it in the moments that he's done it in. I mean, he put our team on his back today.
Are they doing it in the locker room?
He put our team on his back today, and we talked at halftime that Clemson had played a great first half, and a lot of their guys had made a lot of individual plays, and that we needed our guys. Like, guys, best players needed to step up and make plays, and that kid sure as hell did. What a performance to be third and forever down there on that last drive, and him to do what he did. He's special. And then
what is going on?
And then
oh no.
Love it. They're taking pictures of the press conference. That's when you know it's a special day.
I don't really mind anything he said there. South Carolina's got a very proud fan base. It's got I wouldn't say a storied history, but it's got a long history of football.
It's got an enthusiastic fan base.
It's an enthusiastic fan base. What are they doing with the press conference? Is the whole stadium outside the press conference?
I agree with Ira. Is it in the locker room?
It might be in the locker room.
Waving?
That was wild. Do we think his kid should be in the? I mean, he's a phenomenal player. I'm not.
I think Clemson should be shot for not having a spy on 3rd and 11.
That's crazy.
He's the only player on the field that's done a damn thing for them the whole game. Clemson was like worlds better than South Carolina. Yeah. If that kid just doesn't run around every time it gets to be 3rd and 15, good Lord, Dabo.
Yeah.
What are we doing? You know, Dabo should have asked God, because apparently God loves Clemson, and he'll tell you that after every time they play.
Certainly heard that after.
You should have asked him about what kind of coverage to be in that 3rd and whatever it was.
Corey, you got a ballot? You got a Heisman ballot? Where's
Wait, wasn't that game at Clemson? Didn't South Carolina win at Clemson?
Yes.
So then really what's going on? So that's Clemson's fault. That's my problem.
Oh, but it's a weird deal. So where are they even doing it?
Absolutely. So I think if they're doing the press con, well, where's he sitting down? We've never had a coach sitting down. But at Clemson, for people that don't know, the visiting press conference at Clemson, they might as well put you in someone's backyard. They do not care at all. They put you by porta potties. They put you by vending machines. They don't have a spot for you. So I have no idea where Shane Beamer's doing that. So I apologize to the South Carolina fan base. That was at Clemson. Yeah. And he might have been doing it in the locker room, Ira. I don't know where else they put him.
It's a tough setup there at Clemson, so we'll give him that.
It's also annoying to see Shane Creening.
Hey man, let him. It's fine, I get it, but youngish coach, and that's a really big win for them.
He does the pose like he's in a photo booth, like one of those things where 3 people go in a photo booth together. Yeah. He should have brought them up there to take selfies.
His quarterback's a good player.
He is. Congratulations, Shane. We can't hate on you right now.
If we want Shane to stop winning, we have to stop hating on him, because anybody we feature on this show, save Mike Gundy, they turn it around really quickly.
What do we got for clip 2, brother?
Except Tom Herman. He didn't.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. All right, let's go. We mentioned Dabo. Let's go to Dabo. This is Dabo talking about Syracuse coach Fran Brown. Spoiler alert, he'll also be on the show. But sharing his thoughts after Syracuse beat Miami to put Clemson in the ACC championship.
We're heading to Charlotte. Not sure how many of y'all had that on your plans. Y'all probably. I'm sorry, I messed up some of y'all's early Christmas plans.
I messed them up.
Y'all can blame old Fran Brown.
There you go. That's right.
But we're happy to be heading up there, and again, it's going to be a tough matchup, but can't wait to go compete.
Will you send Syracuse anything like some Clemson fans have been like doing?
Man, if we win the national championship, he's going to be riding in the car with me through downtown Clemson. Just go ahead and print that right now. Y'all write it down. We win. And why not? Why not? I mean, it's just football. We got a bunch of good football players. All you got to do is win the game you're playing.
You're not winning the national championship. Stop it.
I mean, somebody's going to win it.
That's right. That's right, Dabo.
Why not us?
We fortunate enough to win this game. You get a ticket to Willy Wonka's factory, right? You get to go. You know, on the magic elevator, and you get to be in the tournament. And so if we're fortunate to win this game and get that opportunity, anything can happen.
Yep.
Anything can happen. I think we were the first 15-0 team, national championship team. Mm-hmm. Maybe we could be the first 3-loss team.
Yeah.
Boy, that would upset some people. God, y'all would have to take a bunch of stuff back that y'all say every day. That would really disappoint some people. But why not? Why not?
That didn't even say the part where he said that what Fran Brown said to him. That was the best part of the press conference, is when he said Fran Brown called him from the winning locker room to basically say, "You're welcome. We knocked off Miami. You get to go to the ACC championship game now."
I think Ben wanted us to see Ben or Dabo be insufferable. That was
yes.
more enjoyable.
That's the more important part of the Dabo press conference. Is that
hey, buddy. Everybody shoveled dirt on that guy, and he's in the flipping playoff. Now, is it crazy? Sure. And did he do it? No. Syracuse did.
But the idea that the media are happy to shovel dirt on him, no, dude. It's
especially
just us.
Not the media in that locker room, in that press conference.
Or us, man. It's just fun to cover teams that are good. It's much more fun.
Yeah.
When you lose at home to Louisville, when you lose, we can go on and on. Do these guys think we're not supposed to cover the losses, just the wins?
Right.
Just the wins. We're not allowed to talk about the losses. Like if you do something really stupid and lose as a huge favorite or something like that, we can't talk about it. We just got to pretend it didn't happen. And if we do talk about it, if we do document that loss, we're haters. We're awful people. We're just shoveling dirt on you.
Yeah. Well, hey, I
don't
think anybody in that press conference thought they would be covering a playoff game. A college football playoff game a month ago, and now I'm sure he pointed that out after they beat SMU.
How could they? Yeah,
I know that's what I'm saying. But he's, he's Dabo. Things drive Dabo. Different kind of things drive Dabo.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I'm not trying to create work for Ben, but you know how sometimes he'll come back behind us and put in some Photoshop wizardry. I really hope he can get Dabo on the elevator with Charlie and his grandfather, the magic elevator at Willy Wonka's.
That would be good. That would be good.
I guess I haven't seen that movie since I was like 7. I didn't understand the reference at all. I would have rather a Teen Wolf reference.
Come on, man.
Dabo standing on the top of the van
with
Teen
man.
Wolf. All right, sorry.
It's a classic. It's on every year.
It is. It's on incessantly. You can't miss it.
I guess I'll have to watch it now. Sounds great. Sounds like a really fun movie.
I think we're 2 for 2 with just insufferable coaches. Please tell me we've got somebody different here.
Both from the state of South Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Hey, I know we're not here to talk about my movie habits, but also another one that I have not seen.
Of course.
Why would you? For our headlines viewers. Since we mentioned Fran Brown, perfect segue. Let's go to Fran Brown. This is 3 separate clips, some of my favorite clips from post-game after Syracuse beat Miami. You know he's going to be fun.
What was your first field storming experience like? Where did you get caught?
I was just in the middle talking to the people. That wasn't my first experience. I'm a winner. So, I've won before a lot of other times, but for here it felt good. It felt good to be able to be standing with my son and just encouraging him and letting him know this is going to be you one day. This is what you'll do. Don't forget, remember this moment. This moment, you had to bottle it up because this will happen again in a few years when I come to recruit you, and this will happen with you. And then I was just happy for those seniors. I was excited for the band. That's why I wanted to make sure I made my way down there to sing the alma mater. It's important that you do that, show the support to our cheerleaders, our fans, alumni, staff. I mean, just everybody. Everyone should be excited about getting a win like this, so it was a big deal. I mean, he's an amazing kid. He will forever have a place in my heart. Will forever just be a part of my family. That's my guy, man. I love that kid a lot. I'm very thankful for him. I'm proud of him and his family, and I'm thankful that they trusted in me and my family. And that's my boy, yo. Like, he's a good dude, though. Like, he's a good dude. Like, I know what they mean when they say, hey, I will let him date my daughter. I always hear that bull crap. And I'm like, hell no. Like, I wouldn't let him date my daughter either. But I'm just saying, he's one of those guys that people say, I let that guy date my daughter. He's a really class act kid. Like, I'm the way I am now because of my Little League football team. You know, and that's never left me. You know, I lost one game in Little League, and that's why I just know about winning. You know, that's why I still cry when I lose. As a grown man, we lose, I cry. I'll let you go. I don't get,
he doesn't shower.
I get washed one day. I made a big deal out of it. I'm getting washed tonight, though.
Oh, it's his shirt? His shirt, he said something about washed.
Something about washed, yeah.
Yeah.
I hope he stays there. I hope he stays there forever. Really, I like Syracuse. I like Syracuse being good, and I like him.
I like him. I have a feeling we might not over time.
We'll see. We'll
see how it goes. Yeah.
There's potential for that, but
there's potential problems there. But yeah.
But for those people, for the people that cover Syracuse or around Syracuse, because remember Dino early on had that big locker room moment where they had a big win.
Huge,
and he was like so popular right away, and then just became a complete ass. Like the last multiple years were just miserable. We were talking, his press conferences were miserable. And now they got this guy who's, hey, I'm a winner. This is what I do. I don't know. He's got a little Cignetti in him. He's got a little Cigs.
He's got a little Cigs. Yeah, he's got a little Cigs in him. By the way, Dino, who I interviewed in Charlotte the year after they won, was it 10 or 11 games, whatever it was? And I had not talked to him the previous year in Charlotte. And so he sat down and I was going to talk to him about that great season they just had and about following that up. He sits down across from me. I introduced myself and I said, we're getting ready to start. And he goes, where'd you pick us last year? Where'd you pick us? And I go, I don't know, 6th, 7th, something like that. He goes, yeah, not first or second. I go, no, I didn't. I didn't pick you first or second. There was no reason to. And then he's like, yeah, well, we surprised you just like everybody else, didn't we? That's how he started before we even began the conversation.
That's how the great ones are wired. You guys got to learn this. That's how the Dino Babers of the world are wired. Fran Brown's press conferences are always entertaining.
They're fun. They're fun. Ben, who's number 4 on the list?
And I love that he brought up the band. I wanted to reiterate the fact that he loves that band.
Oh, yeah, you're not going to disrespect that band.
No damn disrespect for the Syracuse band. Ever.
That's like some people are with Dave Matthews Band.
Yeah.
But he's like that with the Syracuse marching band. He loves it. He rides or dies with those guys.
He always was, even before he got the job here, Corey.
He took the job.
He's driving around the city listening to Syracuse.
So, he just sits outside their practices and listens.
Listen to him.
By the way, Fran Brown was referring to Kyle McCord with the dating your daughter thing, in case you guys couldn't figure out.
So at the end of the day, he would not let him date his
He
daughter.
loves him, and he understands why people might say that for other people's daughter, but
right.
not. Yeah.
Right, that is. Okay.
Okay, we mentioned Curt Cignetti. He's a winner as well as Fran Brown. This is after a 66-0 win over Purdue. Remember, Curt sat in front of us and said Purdue sucks at the basketball game.
That's right.
And Ohio State and Michigan, he also said, which obviously beat Michigan. Didn't beat Ohio State. But yeah, here he is after that win over Purdue.
Anything else, we wanted to play from the first play to the last play in a rivalry game that Indiana had not won in 4 or 5 years. And I thought we had a great crowd. We just about sold out to start. And some of them left at halftime. Guess they got a little cold or I don't know what, but we'll fix that again. But I appreciate them all coming back. And, sure. I mean, I thought we had to play well tonight. I think we did. The night I accepted the job, right, that we were laying in bed and said, look at this schedule. There's 10 wins on this schedule. And, of course, at that point, I was sort of hedging whether to stay or come. And then Scott called 10 minutes later and told me I was the new head coach in Indiana, and I said, okay. He said, we're going to shock the world. And I said, right.
I recognize there's still more ahead, but has any part of you had a chance to at all reflect or just appreciate how much has slipped in a year?
I think I've answered that question a couple of times. In this business, you just move on to the next thing because there's always something that needs done and you're so process-oriented. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to enjoy it when I go up to my office with my family and then go home and enjoy it a little bit. And, of course, games will be over, so there's not much football to be watched. bring coaches in a little later tomorrow, we'll get a little work done, and then maybe work 4 or 5 hours. That'll be it. So
5 hours.
You get to enjoy it right afterwards when I finish this and get to spend some time, maybe have a beverage.
He's talking about like a beer.
2 beverages.
Or I don't know, he might be a hard liquor guy.
I think he's a hard liquor guy.
Yeah,
He's
you're
a
right.
bad. Remember we established this.
Yeah.
He's a bad Scotch and cigarette guy.
You don't think he's drinking Mick Ultras?
No, I think he's drinking some sorry Scotch that he thinks is good. But
I'll be honest with you, I'm not. I want to see the Sigs from the summer when he was hired. I don't. I know he's not humble and he's not pretending to be humble, but I want him to be peacocking a little bit more. That's the Sigs that I like. I don't like this guy that's kind of soft-spoken, a little bit reserved. I don't know. That's not the guy I signed up for.
That Ohio State loss, I think, took a little bit out of him.
Humbled him.
Okay.
Humbled him.
Just a little.
They were
bit.
bludgeoned by Ohio State, and it was
you
just
know, they won 11 games. Like they just beat Purdue 66-0. He should just be dancing.
I think he knows that while this is a great turnaround, when they don't play the 7 worst teams in the Big Ten out of an 18-team league.
Well, he did give a little insight there, right? When he's looking at the schedule.
Yeah. That's what I wanted to say, man. That's the greatest insight to anything. He looked at the schedule and was like, oh, man, I'm going to win a ton of games there.
We can win these games because we played nobody who's any good at all. And the one good team you did play, you lost to by a lot.
Yeah. So I think all along, Sigs knew that this was going to be the money year.
This is it.
And then we'll see where it goes from here. Because he brought in all those transfers, which was awesome. And then you had that ridiculous schedule. But now, and man, God bless them in the playoff. This will be, we'll see how it goes.
I just know this. He is set in Indiana for as long as he wants to be. They wouldn't fire him if he had 4 straight losing seasons. I mean, because it's Indiana, A, and B, they've never had a season, literally never had a season like this. And he engineered that, and they won't. I
don't know, man. Fans are. I mean, you've been saying this for 25 years, Jeff. You're not a victim of your own success.
That's
3 years from now, man, if they're 4-8 for the second straight year,
I don't know. I think this buys him. I think it gets him.
It buys him a couple years. It doesn't buy him. It doesn't buy him.
I think he's perpetuity.
He'll be with the Lions in like 3 years. He's gonna be coaching the Lions or the Ravens.
Ira, by the way, what he should do is what Mark Stoops didn't do. And I get it. Mark's made a lot of money at Kentucky, and they'll build a statue of him. But I really
better not build a statue of Mark Stoops.
Oh, buddy, think about sorry Kentucky and what he's done there.
That's
but
crazy.
What I would tell you is that Mark had that great year, that crazy good year, the 11-win year, whatever it was. Mark should have jetted the moment that happened. It was never going to get any better, Mark. Yeah. You're never going to do better than that. You got to go. Sigs should be on the clock. If I'm him, I'm telling my agent, look, man, now you know damn well when this schedule flips and we have to play all the real teams in this conference, we're going to get our ass beat. Let's go while the iron is hot. Get me out of here.
That would be awesome if he bailed after 1 year.
Thanks for everything.
You guys know what I would have done.
Yeah.
It's time for me to take my talents to the league.
That's right.
Have you seen UCLA's schedule next year? Guys.
That's what he does. He hops. Yeah.
What do we got, Ben?
Let's keep it in the Big Ten. How about Ryan Day? Another loss to Michigan. It's an annual tradition at this point. This is him giving his sales pitch on to fans, I guess, on why he is the guy to figure it all out.
Okay.
I'll ask you about this earlier with just getting ready for the playoff and you leading them into that, leading the Buckeyes into that. For any segment of the fan base or anyone who thinks they're out on Ryan Day, I know culture, a day like today and the signing class are all wrapped up into this. What would be your sales pitch to them?
Yeah, I don't think I need to have a sales pitch, but I can say that, I feel their frustration. I don't know what else to tell you. There's no way to defend losing 4 years in a row, but I know this, like we're going to play really hard in this game. We're going to swing as hard as we possibly can. And, we got a great group of guys. And so, this is going to move on to, this next challenge, and we got to go attack it with everything that we possibly have. And, and that's about it. I get the frustration. I know it comes with this job, but we also, we've won a lot of games around here too. We've lost some key ones, I know, but we're right there and we got to keep swinging at it. We got to keep cracking it. And sometimes when, you're really, really close and you feel frustrated, like you just got to push through, and that's what we're going to do.
If he attacked the Michigan game the way he attacks that beard with Just for Men black dye, they would have a better opportunity to win these games.
He's 45 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I guess there's like a 5 to 12% chance that that's his natural hair color.
No chance. Zero chance.
None?
No chance. None.
Because it looks to me like he's trying to be a movie villain. Like he's trying to paint himself to look like a movie villain, like from an 80s karate movie, like the Last Dragon or something. He looks like he belongs in something like that. It's crazy.
How does he expect to be taken seriously walking out there looking like that? It's ridiculous.
He's leading the crew that's going to take out Steven Seagal.
Right, there you go. Yeah, he's going to jump out of a birthday cake. Yeah, Ben, these are all great movies you should watch, by the way, when you get a chance. The Last Dragon is a classic. I'm sure you've already seen that one. But, yeah, there's all the Seagal movies. But, yeah, he looks like he's trying to be it's not real. That's not a real look. What do you think it looks like in person?
It's like uncomfortable when they interview him down on the field when the cameras are all up close to his face and he's talking. You can see you're like, that is jet black. That's not a real color. That's not a natural color. That's not even real.
It is a weird situation there, man. It is a weird situation because I don't think John Cooper couldn't beat Michigan either and got fired for it. But I don't know if he won at quite the same clip.
He didn't win at the same clip, but he won. He had a couple 10-win seasons.
He won.
But not like this. I mean, Ohio State's going to be in the playoff as long as Ryan Day is there. So you don't fire him. At this point, it's like being mad if Dan Campbell couldn't beat whoever the Vikings coach is, O'Connell. It's like, okay, that sucks. You want to keep beating – you want to beat your rival in the NFC North. But as long as you're getting in the playoff every year and getting a chance to win it, I know rivalries matter, but come on, man, you're winning 10 or 11 games every year. His job security is fine as long as he keeps winning all the other games like he does.
I'll just say this. In basically our lifetimes, Corey, well, really since 2000 on, maybe late 90s on, no matter who's coaching at Ohio State, they win 11 games. So every one of their coaches kick ass and win a ton of games.
Well, until they don't. Now, don't just assume that happens anymore. You can't.
But my point would be, at some point, you're going to have to beat Michigan, man. You were
but they might win
point favorite at home.
Yeah, but again, I would say they don't even have an outside shot. They have a decent chance to win the national championship this year. Then nobody's going to care about Michigan.
Well, that's it though. You have to.
You got to do that.
Beat Michigan, you got to win the national title.
Yeah. We'll see. I don't feel good about their chances, but that was a walk-on quarterback that beat him. That's a toughie.
It's crazy.
It was the Michigan defense that beat them. But they sucked. They deserved it. But it's like that quarterback, you could have played quarterback at the level that Michigan kid did.
No, I agree. All the more reason they should have boat raced Michigan by 100. What are we doing?
They might be distracted by the goatee dye. And at some point, he's got to let it go. That's the problem. If he goes natural, it shows what his kids, what he's willing to do for the cause, that he'll stop dyeing his beard. They might play a little harder.
You know who beat that Michigan team's ass? Siggs in Indiana.
Siggs doesn't dye anything.
Hey, by the way, Artezia Water, artesiawater.com. You saw Ira guzzling the Artezia this morning right there, getting hydrated. We had our office Christmas party last night. I think Ira went pretty hard. By the time I left, I was a little worried about him. So I know he's hydrating with the best water in the world from our friends at Artezia.
Dude, guys, I had a crisis this week. So we an Artezia Water crisis. So we were moving some stuff around for the holiday Christmas decorations. And anyway, so I got a couple days ago, went to get my fresh glass of Artezia water.
As one does.
I pour it and I go sit down and start working and I take a sip and it's like room temperature.
Oh.
Guys, we don't realize how blessed we are to have the Artezia water until you actually drink a glass of room temperature. When we were doing the decorations, somebody unplugged the Artezia water.
You were livid.
Yeah.
I mean,
I hope that somebody no longer lives with you.
This Christmas.
Yeah. We don't get violent in this house, but there's a stern talking to. And but then guess what? Plugged it back in. The magic returned, and we've got the Artezia water. You can have Artezia water too in your house or office or any workspace, and they'll deliver you the big jugs. The big jugs. Corey, you got any jugs on hand?
No, I don't. I'm in a different room. They're in the. You want me to go get them? You want me to go get
that's
them?
right.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right. But yeah, and you can have it delivered if you're in North Florida, basically across the Panhandle, over down, I guess, into Madison, east of Tallahassee, and they'll deliver it to you. It's from a Artezia well source in North Florida, fresh, delicious, and the coolers you get a cold or hot. It's artesiawater.com is the website, and they'll give you the first month free if you mention Coach Pete.
I also just like it when you say aquifer, but you didn't do this time. So I think you should just somehow work in
aquifer.
Yeah.
Florida and aquifer.
Yeah,
there you go. Nice.
There it is. That's what I'm talking about.
It is crazy how cold it is. It's crazy. Yes. I don't know the science behind it. I'm drinking it right now. It's crazy how cold it is.
I don't know the science behind it.
I'm not some fancy scientist.
Ben, next coach. Let's go.
All right, we got 4 more clips, guys. Let's go to everyone's favorite psychopath, Dan Hurley, talking about his first of 3 losses.
This guy sucks.
He's the worst.
He's the worst.
I had to fit this in the middle here. We couldn't go 3 back-to-back to start. So,
but I had a lot of issues with what went on out there in the game. That over the back call at that point of the game, there was no attempt to block out. There was a player on Memphis that made a half-ass effort to rebound that basketball, and Liam McNeely high-pointed that rebound. For that call to be made at that point of the game was a complete joke, all right? And then for me, I don't know what happened. I might have lost my balance by the absurdity of the call, or maybe I tripped. But if I made that call at that point, I would have ignored the fact that I was on my back. If I made that call, I would have ignored that. That was.
So did he lay down? I think he laid down.
How you could call that while that game was going on, the way that game was going on, is just beyond me. But I know. I've never seen the one ref before. I didn't even know he was a college ref, and then, I'm familiar with the other 2, so I'm not surprised.
And I'm familiar with the other 2. That guy, I'm not sure how he got in here. How they got him in the state. I've never seen him.
Are we sure he's an official?
The other 2, I'm well aware that they are refs. They are terrible.
Yeah, nobody can do their job but him.
It's funny how he acts in those press conferences. And look, he's obviously an incredible basketball coach, and he is more of an incredible psychopath. It's not normal what he does. Like, his team just won back-to-back national championships, and he fell down on his back at the Maui tournament in November. Like, what in the? He's what?
About an over the back call.
He on an over the back call against Memphis in November. It's like he's wired like Dino. The great ones are wired differently, Jeff.
If Leonard should have fallen on his back last night at the time we're taping this, Florida State lost on the road to North Carolina State. There was a goaltending call that screwed Florida State at a pretty big moment of the game, and it was ridiculous. And if he were Hurley, he would have just flayed on the ground, and just kicked his feet up in the air and gone nuts for an hour. But that
it takes a special person, man, to lose a game to a team. To a team in Memphis is a really good team. Mm-hmm. And to be like, oh, and their kid had a half-assed effort. And he got penalized for it. It's like, dude.
Yeah, that's slap dick. You're going to give him a call? I mean, he's up there.
Wasn't he rumored to be the Lakers' next coach? Didn't they rumor him to be a NBA head coach? Can you imagine?
Corey, it wasn't a rumor. He was offered the job.
But so it got down the line a little bit, right, where he almost took it. Like, can you imagine him?
Turned it down because Stores is special.
Well, right, but he can't. I mean, he can't survive this. Like, mental health wise, physical health wise, I don't feel like he can survive this. But I just love the thought of him in the NBA. Like, every non-travel call, or every time a superstar flails and gets bailed out with 2 free throws, he's going to jump into his assistant's arms and like just a crazy person.
It doesn't. I don't understand it. It's regular season college basketball for a team who's guaranteed to make the NCAA tournament. Stop it, man. What are you doing? You're going to go 27-4.
Yeah.
Just shut the hell up.
Well, we remember what when I was watching that press conference, because I saw it that night because it went viral. I just was reminded that what a jerk he was before he won 2 national titles, and now what we're in store for now. So it's gonna be fun.
Well, he'll be on this show every week. Go ahead, Ben. What do we got?
Yeah, the thought of him playing an 82-game schedule, I can get behind
that
it.
would kill him.
Yeah, he'd be dead.
How about Mike Elko? Texas A&M had a pretty good season until the last 2 weeks of the season. And so he was asked about looking ahead to Texas before the Auburn game, and then they went on to lose both games.
Yeah. So much talk about November 30th, it was announced as a night game today. How do you deal with that with your guys and saying, hey, we still have something ahead of us at Auburn, or is that even a big issue with your team?
I don't think it's an issue. I think when you're in the situation we're in, it's easy to focus on the task at hand. I think, those big games earlier in the year, maybe you look ahead. If we didn't have at stake what's at stake, maybe you would worry about it. I think our focus is single-handedly on on Auburn right now, and locked in on what we got to get done.
That's funny. Yep. And then they lost both.
Yep.
It was probably a slip of the tongue, right? I really don't think he was like game planning for Texas. During that game, but it is funny that he said that like that.
By the way, the Auburn-Texas A&M game is a good example of how good Vegas is. Like, inexplicably, that game kept getting lowered and lowered to the point where they kicked the game off. It was a 1-point spread.
Yeah.
We've watched A&M play. We've watched Auburn play. How is that a 1-point spread? That's crazy. And then it turned out to be right because Auburn won, obviously.
Yeah.
So, that's just nuts. It's just nuts. I was like, flee, people. If you see lines like that, run. Something's not right. Something's not right.
They nailed it. They nailed it.
It wasn't quite as the Texas Freudian slip wasn't quite as good as our guy Jim Phillips evoking Jordan Travis talking about
that. Look, that's got to be on the next coach speak. I know he's not a coach, but holy cow!
Hey, well, it's funny you mentioned that because it is in the chambers, ready to be.
Oh, good, great!
Here we go. This is crazy. This is okay. Go for it. This is crazy.
Let's go to it now.
Yeah, let's go to it. This is nuts.
In the conference, there's 2 teams in the 68 Power 4 schools that went undefeated in the conference: the Oregon Ducks and the SMU Mustangs. They're 9-0 with Kevin Jennings as their quarterback. Last year, we suffered through having to hear about Jordan Travis being out and Miami not being the same.
Yikes.
Well, it cuts both ways. Since Jordan Travis took over, they're 9-0. They have more Power 4 wins than Texas does.
I mean, what?
Jim.
How does that happen? I get that he clearly isn't comfortable with whatever he's doing. I don't know if that's a taped interview or he's like live.
They should have shut it down if it was taped.
Yeah, I think it was live.
Restart it over.
Yes,
but then
Jim, you don't know who's involved here. We're gonna have to start over. Let us inform you. It's SMU.
Right. Well, it was Florida State that Jordan Travis played for, not Miami. He beat Miami. That was kind of his thing. He beat Miami every year. And then yes, Jordan Travis is now not in the conference at all. He certainly doesn't play at SMU.
I don't even I want to know how the meeting or when he comes off they shut down he finishes the interview, takes off the headset.
How do you think I did?
Exactly. That's exactly what he says to his spokesperson, communications people.
They're just shaking their heads.
She's probably like, well, I got a few notes. For if you talk again. Here's some talking points you might want to address.
We're going to give you the cue cards from here on out.
But from a big picture standpoint, a year ago when Florida State, as everybody knows, was floundering and couldn't get in the playoff and was getting screwed, we all saw it coming. And Greg Sankey, SEC's commissioner, is out there politicking for their schools on game day, and Jim Phillips is nowhere to be found.
Nowhere.
So this year, 1 year later, he's going to do it. He's emboldened. He's going to go on game day and defend the ACC, and then that happened.
No, he's a buffoon. We go watch him talk every year in Charlotte, and every year we're just sitting there incredulous.
He's not a great orator. Yeah, that's the right way to say it. And so I thought maybe Florida State wouldn't have benefited at all if he'd have been out in front last year. He'd have talked about who knows who he talked about. Jameis Winston,
Boston College.
Yeah, that's right. You're going to leave out undefeated Boston College?
Yeah, there were a lot of funny tweets after that segment. Corey's was up there with the best. In hindsight, I'm not sure that he would have helped Florida State's cause.
Yeah, I don't think it would have helped her. But it's like Sankey comes on when he taught, and he walks in like he's the biggest D in the room.
He's a killer.
And he sits there and he makes fun of the other conferences. He talks with gravitas. That looked like it felt like a hostage video. Yeah. It felt like he was being forced to read something and couldn't read it and read the wrong names.
He did give you a sandwich, Corey, and he is a nice man.
He is a nice man. He did give me a sandwich. That's right. That's for another show. Very nice man. That just was not his best moment.
Corey was excited about that sandwich. He came downstairs and sat down. He said, "Hey, man, I just got a sandwich."
Yeah, it was good.
He's so puny. That's the problem. He's just so puny. He comes across so small, so soft, so meek.
That was not a great moment for him.
Just pathetick. It's in a series of sorry moments for his soft ass. Go ahead, Ben. What do we got?
He didn't give you a sandwich.
All right, we got
and he won't now.
One. I was going to save Jim for last, but we'll go to former Chicago Bears coach Matt Eberflus, explaining that debacle on Thanksgiving against Detroit.
Yeah. So glad he got
and
fired.
We're there at 2nd and 20. Take the sack right there, and so we're at 36 seconds right there, and our hope was, because it was 3rd going into 4th, that we would re-rack that play at 18 seconds, throw it inbounds, get it into the field goal range, and then call the timeout. And that's where it was, and that was our decision-making process on that. Again, we were outside the field goal range, so we needed to get a few more yards in there, as close as we can get, and
we're
then
aware
we're going to call
that you were out of field goal
timeout,
range.
and that's why we held that last timeout at the end of the game. So, like I said, disappointing for the players. They put a lot of work in a short week, and put themselves in position to win that game. So, with that, I'll take questions.
Yeah, when you saw the clock.
Yeah, when you saw the clock ticking down to 0.
Yeah.
By the way, I would say this, in fairness, now Eberflus has proven to be an idiot and he's been fired, but in fairness, he probably didn't expect his starting quarterback to inexplicably not get the team lined up.
To not know how time works.
Yeah,
and the football works.
What are we doing? Come on, Caleb, what are we doing?
It was nuts.
That
it was like watching a car accident in slow motion. One time when I was in college, I got into a car accident where I was going, I was at a light turning red, and the car coming towards me the light was going to turn red, so I was going to go ahead and go and turn. And the truck was coming so slow that I was like, oh, he's clearly stopping. Yeah. And I'm kind of going slow, but then I start to go, and then I realize he's not stopping. So now, so we collide at 3 miles an hour. And I get out of the car, and I talk to the guy there was a witness in the car, waiting to go the other way. And he goes, I was just watching it going, there's no way these two cars are actually going to collide at 3 miles an hour. And
that
sure
was
enough,
all of us watching football on Thanksgiving.
Seriously.
He's going to call a timeout. You're going to call the timeout, right? You're going to call my man. Are we going to call?
None of it made sense. That the re-racking the same play that was just an incomplete pass. Right. You don't need 30 yards to get in a field goal range. In fact, I don't even know if that's true. He was at the 40 or the 39. So I know they don't have a good kicker, but it's the NFL indoors. You need probably 4 yards to actually have a field goal attempt, or go throw it Hail Mary and try to win the game.
But
that play is crazy.
Well, and the premise, it's I get it. He's we're going to throw it in bounds, so we need the timeout.
The premise is correct, Ira. The premise is correct.
Yes. Right. But you have to snap the ball.
Yeah. Snap the ball. And by the way, if he hasn't snapped the ball at the 18-second mark, then we're going to go ahead and bang that timeout.
Also, you can tell if your team's lined up ready to snap the ball. Yeah. And clearly he wasn't. As soon as Caleb starts looking this way and that way, you timeout, man.
By the way, they have an earpiece, Caleb.
Right, Caleb, you have to snap the ball. Please snap the ball. Please, God, Caleb, can you hear me? Is this on? He must be losing his mind.
Ball, you dumbass. Let's go.
Maybe he wanted to get fired. He gets that buyout, man, and now he's probably enjoying his holidays.
Well, it's a kiss my ass on Main Street moment, but man, alive.
Didn't
Was that it, Ben? Was that the last one?
Didn't the Bears say that it wasn't because of that decision?
Well,
it wasn't like they were 9-1.
Decisions, Ira. Serious decisions. Yeah.
If they were 9-1, they would have let it slide, I think. But yes, when you've lost 5 in a row or whatever it was.
My favorite part is that they rolled his poor ass out there to do that press conference in the morning the next day when they knew they were going to fire his ass.
Yeah, and he got fired 30 minutes later.
How poorly run is that organization?
Crazy.
Lord, man. Hey, Ben, you did a great job as always, and we thank all of you for watching, by the way. Thanks to our friends at Artezia Water as well. Check them out, artesiawater.com. We'll be back with another Coach Speak next week. That's Corey. That's Ira. Our thanks to Ben. I'm Jeff. Be good, everybody. Enjoy the football. Peace.